Wow, that's a hell of a lineup in this driveway. Looks like we're turning the vet into a shop truck today. Alrighty, we got all the parts for the front disc brake conversion on the Nova in the shop truck here. Shop truck. So we're gonna head over to Ray's. Okay guys, so a little bit about what we're doing here. You know, the original plan was I was going to bring the Nova over to my garage and I was going to do the front disc brake conversion and do the nitrous system install. Well, Ray called me a couple days ago and yeah, I don't know all the logistics behind it, but he's got a friend over there that's kind of wanting to help with it and stuff. And honest to God's truth is, I think the primary thing Ray wants me to do is all the LS swap stuff, because Ray likes working on his own cars too. So what we're doing right now is I have loaded all the parts up for the front disc brake swap on the Nova, and we're taking them all over here to Ray's house, and you know, hopefully we're gonna shoot a video doing the front disc brake conversion. Now, we do still have to install the nitrous kit, so I'm not sure if I'm taking the car home tonight, you know, so I'll have it there to work on through the week, getting the nitrous kit put on, or if that's going to be something that happens like in a week or two. But I really want to go ahead and get it put on, because railroad tracks, because I want to take the China Vet to the drag strip to do some, you know, like baseline runs. And I think it would be super cool if we had the Nova and already had the nitrous on it and take it to the drag strip at the same time. So I think that would make for a fun time. You know, Ray and I could kind of race each other, and depending on how much nitrous we end up throwing at the Nova, it might end up being a pretty damn good race. I think it would be a fun time and a better video for you guys. So anyway, that's what we're doing, trying to get over there. We'll come back when we get there. All right, guys, we're at, Tinkerbell, tink, 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 tink.
That looked good on that Nova, that color with black.
I think the Nova would look sharp as hell this color.
Yeah.
You see the Nova there, guys? Ray's already got it up. See the front brakes there, the drum brakes. Fixing to get rid of all that.
Just leaving each wheels on it. That's what we're running.
Okay. Just get a set of steels to put some either slicks or something on for at the track.
Then I got somebody that's got them.
All right, guys. So as you can see, we've got front drum brakes on here. Ray has already started. On this side. But what we're doing, we're getting rid of the front drums, and we are putting these on. This is the front disc brake conversion kit. Comes with new spindles, everything. Link for this kit is going to be in the description of the video. So I'm not quite sure if we're going to do like a step-by-step here, but I'm going to try to kind of like let you guys know some of the key things that we're having to do. So you just start by taking everything apart here. You got to take your tie rod end loose, your upper, lower ball joints. You know, you pull your pins out, your Carter pins, pull those out, take these loose, and we'll move on to the next step. I hope you guys can see this. I know it's kind of dark back here, but you have an arm right here that attaches to your tie rod end and attaches to your old spindle. So it's a good idea to try to at least break these loose while it's on here. But in order to fully take them loose, you're going to have to take your brake drum off and take your brakes out, so you can get a wrench on the back side of those bolts to get them all the way off. I want to say this too, guys. It's probably a good idea, especially on the brake line fittings, to go ahead and go out maybe a day before you start this job, spray some liquid wrench or some kind of other penetrating oil on all your brake line fittings as well as all your bolts, because you know, like in this case, we're working on something, this car's older than I am, you know, this is a 73. So yeah, always a good idea. Think ahead. We didn't. And the other side about killed us. But good idea to always think ahead. Go ahead and lubricate everything. Here's that tie rod in. Oh yeah!
All there is to it.
Hey, this is kind of nice. I like just holding the camera.
Oh yeah.
Usually I'm trying to hold a camera and take stuff loose. We're over here at Ray's garage, and he hasn't gotten aggravated enough to break out any air tools yet. So we're doing an old school install, but the good thing about that is, you know, everybody doesn't have air tools, so you guys get to see it being done just
Old school.
old school with wrenches. I hope it's not just turning the bolt.
Me too. Right there.
Can you get to it on this side?
Yeah.
What about the other one? Because you can get to both of them with that. All right, guys. So on the other side, we ended up taking all the brake assembly apart to get to that inner bolt to hold it. But it looks like on this side, we may not have to do that. All right. There's that bracket. Keep that. You will be reusing that bracket. So we are taking the upper and lower ball joints loose. So what we need to do is take pressure off of those so the coil spring don't come flying out, and the lower control arm flops down and breaks poor Uncle Ray's arm there.
That's just an arm.
Just not, you got a spare, right? And there's the lower ball joint loose. And there's the upper ball joint loose. Yeah, this side's going way easier. All right, now comes the fun part, guys. The brake line. These brake lines, we already did the other side. The brake lines are a pain in the butt. They always are. You know, they're old as shit. They usually round off. Actually, Uncle Ray showed me a little something on the other side. Instead of you know, you can try to take it loose initially with a 3/8 line wrench, but usually it just strips. If it does, you can just take the vice grips, put the vice grips on it, and just use the vice grips to break it loose, then take it the rest of the way loose with the line wrench. Did that just break loose that easy?
Yeah.
Oh, you asshole. I struggled over there on the other side for like 10 minutes with that thing, guys. Maybe longer. Okay, so when you get these assemblies from POL, they're going to have them already kind of put together here for you, but that's just so you can kind of see how they go together. You are going to have to take these apart, so... Alright, so that's done. Now we got to flip it over and get the rotor off. Was it a 1 1/16? Make sure I'm telling the right thing. Yep. No? What we got? Yeah. 1 1/16, guys. That's what this nut is. Alright, so there's your new inner bearing, or outer bearing, and there's your new inner bearing.
And when you put this together, you'll grease this real good and stick it in there. Then put this seal in and knock it in. You've got to have this bearing in there first before you put the seal in. It won't go in there any other way. Alright, I greased the wheel bearing, the big one, put it in the way it goes. Small side towards
the outside of the vehicle.
And here's the seal, and it goes like that. And I'm lucky I've got this brass thing, it fits over it completely. Whenever you hear the different tone, you know it's getting close. And there it is.
If you don't have, you know, like a piece of brass like Ray does, you could also probably use a block of wood or something. Guys, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this new spindle assembly on over here. Main thing is the two big bolts here that are kind of helping to hold the dust shield on. You know, you need to go ahead and take those off. And I'm going to go over here, set it on the lower ball joint, and I'll pick up there. It doesn't get much easier. You're going to take your spindle. You want your brake bracket to go towards the rear of the car. Just set it down on your lower ball joint there. And for now, we're just going to run this nut on a little bit. I'm not going to tighten that up yet until I get it in the top one here. So what we're going to have to do is line up the top one, and I don't know if I'm going to have to lower the jack down or if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, so we'll line up the top one. You can see that's going to go in there, but we're going to have to raise the jack up a little bit, and as I jack the lower control arm up, it'll push this down enough that I can get some threads on it and get started with that. You can see after jacking this up, I was able to get the nut started here, the nut started here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten these nuts down to pull the upper and lower ball joint into the spindle. So I'm going to snug them up pretty good, like really tight. Then after I get them really tight, I'm just going to back the nuts off until the hole lines up so I can put a new cotter pin in. So this is the bracket I told you not to get rid of. We have to put it on the back. We have to put it on the back of the new spindle. She's going to go in just like that with this humped part up. And we run our new bolts that came with the kit through. They go through the dust shield, through the brake caliper mount, through the spindle, and through that bracket. Something else I need to mention, we actually figured this out on the other side, but this front bolt, after you tighten the nut down on it, you're going to need to take a die grinder or something of that nature and cut this bolt off as short as you can get it, because if you don't, it's going to hit on the sway bar end length there. So make sure you cut that off after you tighten the nut up. You don't want to cut it off and then try to put the nut on it, because you know, if you mess the threads up, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Once you get your castle nuts on, you want to make sure that it lines up with one of the holes there. I haven't done the top yet, but you know, you can see there's a hole there. That's for your cotter pin to go through. So what you're going to do at that point is slip your cotter pin through the hole, and we're going to take some pliers on the other side and just bend that over. Right here on your dust shield for your brakes, just a little note you might overlook here is there are two little tabs here on this main big bolt. So what you want to do is, after you get this big bolt tightened up, you're going to want to bend these tabs up, and that'll keep that from working loose. The tie rod ends on this thing were kind of worn out, so Ray decided to just go ahead and install new tie rod ends while we were at it. But you know, installation is the opposite of removal, guys. So all you're going to do is, once again, feed this up through your new spindle bracket here, put the nut on, tighten it down till it pulls it all the way up in there, and it's just really snug. Then back it off, and you can see on this, I can show you a little better. You've got to line up, you'll have to line up that hole with one of the slits in your castle nut here so you can get the cotter pin in. But that's pretty much it.
Tinker, tinker, tinker. Oh, little Tinkerbell. Oh, little Tinkerbell.
Alright, so everything's tightened up, back on, greased up, and sliding the rotor on. You got your outer bearing that goes in. Alright, now on this collar, guys, you can see there's a little keyway on it. That fits with a little slot in the spindle there.
Yeah, dang.
It's supposed to anyway, right?
Yeah. Where's it at?
Where's it at? There it is. Alright, so that slides on. Then the castle nut.
Don't cross thread it.
Yeah, you don't want to cross thread that for sure. And what you're going to do with this castle nut, guys, is you're going to snug it up. You're not going to put a ton of pressure on it because you want those bearings to be free. But you're going to get it to where it's snug, like maybe 15-20 foot-pounds. And then you're going to back it off to line it up with a hole so you can put your cotter pin in there. That's slipped in. Bend that around. These can be aggravating. You don't want to, like, you can start tapping it on in the center, guys, but you don't want to hammer really hard on the center because you'll collapse it. Yeah, like I said, they're kind of a pain sometimes, but you know, you tap it in the middle to get it started. Then you're going to tap around the edges, usually with a punch or something like that. And you've just got to keep working your way around, and you know, little by little. Yeah, the bottom's popping out. You went for too big a stroke there, John Holmes.
Again.
Yeah, trying to go too deep. Like I said, you got to just keep working your way around, just little by little, and she'll go in. If it goes in easy, then it's too loose and you need to get a new dust cap. Now we are sliding the brake caliper and pad assembly on. Yeah, those run in from the back. You'll have to push them, like pop them through the little seal in the front there. Yeah, you guys can see I've already gashed myself. What size did we say? This was a well, it's like a 3/8 Torx bit or whatever. Well, not Torx bit, hex bit.
Yeah, if we used air tools, it probably wouldn't have got that cut on his knuckle.
If we'd used air tools, like on this video, guys, it's gonna look like this happened in about probably 15-20 minutes, but we've actually been over here for like 4 hours. If we'd have used air tools, this probably would have took about 2. Hey, Ray's car, Ray's garage, Ray's rules. The last thing we have to do here, as far as the actual this part of the brake installation, is install the brake lines. Now, we got the braided stainless steel brake lines, and you're going to notice the end that goes to the caliper, it's actually angled. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to angle it away from the caliper when you put it on there. When you put this on, what you're going to do, you have a copper washer, so you're going to put a copper washer on your bolt, then you're going to thread your bolt through, then you're going to put a copper washer on this side of the bolt, then attach it to the caliper. Brake line's on. You want to work the steering wheel back and forth, make sure the brake line's not hitting or rubbing on anything. And Ray is going through and greasing all the joints while he's under there, the ball joints and the new tie rod end and etc. The last part of this conversion is you are going to need to swap out your proportioning valve here, which this one is a drum unit. You're going to need to swap this out for a disc drum unit. I had bought this unit right here online on eBay, and link will be in the description, just like the brake kit. But anyway, the issue with this is is sold as kind of a universal unit, so it really doesn't look much like the unit that's in this car, but it does look just like the unit that is in the C10 in the garage. So we were able to go in there and kind of figure out where all the brake lines are supposed to go. We are going to have to bend some of the brake lines slightly, tweak them to get them to line up with this universal unit here, but anyway, it's pretty simple really, guys. On this unit, this and these two here are for the back brakes. Now, one brake line going to the back, and your brake line coming off your master cylinder here for the back brakes going in there. Then all three of these ports are for the front brakes. So you're going to have a line in from your master cylinder for the front brakes, which is usually the bigger reservoir on your master cylinder. That's going to go into one of these lines, and then your two front brake lines are going to plumb into the other two lines on this side. So even though it doesn't really look like the unit that's on here, we kind of figured it out how it's going to be plumbed. So we're going to get this installed. Okay guys, we pretty much showed you how to do this. We're actually taking it a step further. So I'm going to kind of end this video here because we've already showed you how to install a kit, or how we installed it anyway, and what you have to do with your proportion valve. But while we were emptying the fluid out of the reservoir up here, this thing is really rusty. The fluid in it was really nasty. Ray has decided he just wants to go ahead and get a new master cylinder and a smaller brake booster. So like I said, we're going to end this one now because he don't have the parts currently. He's gonna have to get them this week. Guys, before I leave, I don't think I've ever showed you the inside of the Nova. So minus the floor mats, this is the inside of the Nova that I keep talking about, how I love these seats. Ray was actually wanting to put some racing bucket seats in it, and I'm trying to talk him out of it because I'm really digging on this upholstery. But you can see it's all in really good shape in here. Awesome shape actually. Even I think the headliner's even good. Got your auto meter gauges and the tack right there. Mega shifter. Yeah, awesome. Love this car. Love it. This thing's gonna be badass, guys. It's gonna be badass. So I'm back home and wanted to kind of explain what happened while we weren't able to finish the install on camera. What happened was, when I popped the top off, that brake fluid was horrible, guys. It almost looked like motor oil, and there was just all kinds of rust in the master cylinder. And I told Ray, I was like, we don't need to pump all this nastiness through these new brakes. So what Ray decided to do is just go ahead, buy a brand new master cylinder and a brand new brake booster. The reason he's going ahead and getting a new brake booster is because I had mentioned I wasn't sure, like we had talked about running the Denali engine covers like I had in my truck in the car there, since I already had them. And I wasn't sure. I know in the C10, the Denali covers were really tight with the master, or with the brake booster in the C10. So he's going to get one of those small diameter brake boosters and a new master cylinder. I'm not sure if I will be able to get over there to get that on video when we install that, but I'm going to try, guys. We already took the old one out. I've actually got to go to Performance Products tomorrow, which is our local hot rod shop, and try to find them one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will be doing a nitrous install on the Nova soon, and also a nitrous install on the Corvette. So we're going to be hosing both of them, guys. I want to also thank you guys. I wanted to tell you, I know I haven't responded to a lot of your comments on the video where I unveiled the new project, but my wife was actually, while we were working, she was reading your comments to me on the last video. So I'm glad you guys are liking the new project. Honestly, that was a way better response than I was hoping to get. I really thought there would be more negativity towards it, but you guys are obviously welcoming it, and I'm really happy about that. I mean, because the whole point of me getting the new project was to try to progress the channel and maybe, you know, get into something that, well, that a lot of us haven't done before. Stay tuned for more updates on that. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure and click the subscribe button if you want to see more, and make sure you guys click the notification bell so you know when I put out a new video. For all my older subscribers who are still with me, thanks guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I love all the comments, and I really hope that I'm making content that you guys enjoy watching. I'm trying to progress, make the channel better. You know, I mean, that's what I want to do. I just want to keep growing the channel, make it better. So if you've got a favorite video that you like, help me out, share the video. If you share the video, you know, that helps me, keeps me encouraged. It brings in more views. It encourages me to try to do better and better for you guys. So anyway, I'm going to go edit this video. Definitely going to take a shower because I'm covered in grease. You guys get out in the garage and get something done, and I will see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.